Alrighty, we are back for the 5 versus 12 matchups for March Madness, round number 1, the historical upset round here with those 12 seeds. I know you have an opinion on that, so Wyatt, I'm going to send it to you here first. Give me your betting trends and angles that you have for the 5-12 matchups.
Yeah, 12 seeds are everyone's babies. We said it in our last video. It might be coming too oversaturated. You see a lot of these 12 seeds picked by everyone. They seem like they're super popular, and rightfully so. I mean, 14 out of the last 17 tournaments, a 12 seed has won. Multiple of those tournaments, multiple 12 seeds have won. So it is a very common upset. I think they're hitting at like 38% in the last, I don't know, 15 years. I don't know the exact time. I've seen multiple years with three 12 seeds upset. So I just would be very cautious because it is a very popular underdog pick. I do like some of these underdogs. We'll touch on them in a second. But you're going to see a lot of people on High Point. You're going to see a lot of people on McNeese, probably Akron, probably. I mean, all these 12 seeds, everyone's going to be on. So just be cautious. I would not take all four. I would probably stay with one, maybe two. Our previous video, I like those 13 seeds a lot more than these 12. So if you want to take a couple upsets, I would go for two in the 13s and just keep it to one in the 12s, just because of how popular these are. But yeah, excited to talk about these games and hopefully pick the correct upset.
Yeah, I agree with you that I've kind of said it in the last episode, but once these little trends become public, they don't hit quite as much as what they once did. But I'm going to quickly just get into the games here. St. John's, Northern Iowa. So I'm going to keep this one really short. I'm not a St. John's guy whatsoever. You know that from working together here for the last year or this season, talking about St. John's. But early last year, I wasn't that high on them either. Um, that being said, I find myself in the tournament when I'm so sure on something. Like in this case, I'd be so sure on Northern Iowa. That's the one that always jumps up and bites me. And St. John's goes on and wins big. So I'm actually going to go St. John's in this game to win and cover. Just because, that's the one that sticks out to me immediately to take Northern Iowa. And historically, when that happens, it usually doesn't go that way. So, yeah, I'm going to take St. John's in that first game. Vanderbilt McNeese, this is one where I do like the dog in McNeese State. My one fear is that we've seen McNeese in the tournament in this role a couple of times recently, but, I think that does give them experience. It gives them confidence. And Vanderbilt, just had a really nice win against Florida in the SEC tournament game, blew them out. They've had some really nice results this season. End up losing in that SEC championship game. And I think that might be a negative that they played all the games that they could have in the SEC tournament, didn't get the victory. Now coming in, maybe a little bit overhyped as well, especially off that big win against Florida. So I do like McNeese plus the points. Again, sprinkle that money line if you are taking the dog plus the points. Wisconsin High Point. This one's very tough. Wisconsin is, well, we talked about them with some of the 5 seeds or the 4 seeds. If Wisconsin's hitting their shots, they're probably going to win and cover this game. But new venue, new rims, unfamiliar territory. If they're not, like, I could see High Point getting it done here. And this game has been bet down. Wisconsin opened 12.5, down to 9.5 now. I'm going to lean on Wisconsin here. I think Wisconsin does hit their shots. I think they're more versatile than High Point. And I think at this point, getting bet down under double digits, I would take a stab with Wisconsin. In our final game, Texas Tech and Akron. This is probably my favorite 5-12 game. Right off bat, right off rip, I looked at this game. I thought, oh, Akron looks like a nice little upset pick here. But then I got thinking about it. Everyone knows Texas Tech doesn't have Obi Toppin. Everyone knows Texas Tech kind of floundered down the stretch without him. Everyone knows Akron just won the conference tournament that had the undefeated 31-0 Miami, Ohio in there. I think it's a very, very trendy public dog at this point on Akron. I think you're getting nice line value with Texas Tech. Even without Obi Toppin, obviously every player at Texas Tech is far and beyond better than what Akron has. So I think you're getting a really nice price on Texas Tech. I think Akron probably, when it's all said and done, will probably be the most trendy dog of the tournament. I like Texas Tech to roll in that one.
Yeah, we are going to agree and disagree on a couple of these games. I agree with you on St. John's. Not sold on these guys. I know people are a little upset with St. John's being a 5 seed after winning the Big East here, but Northern Iowa is so freaking slow. If you're going to be that slow, you're going to have to out physical the other team. St. John's has better bigs, more physical bigs. St. John's is better at Northern Iowa's game. So don't see Northern Iowa winning, which means that one is going to be a sure upset since me and Ethan are both on St. John's. And I agree, I'm not sold on St. John's either. But I like them to win that game and keep Northern Iowa at bay. Wisconsin High Point, here we go. I mean, High Point, we all know, was probably I would say probably the most popular 12 seed here, which definitely I'm very cautious about. They are the nation's longest win streak at 14 games. They have, I forget his first name, but Johnston, their 3-point shooter, who has, I think, attempted 8 2-point field goals. So does that ring a bell? That sounds exactly like our boy from Oakland. What was his name?
Jack Golke.
Hillsdale a couple of years. Sorry, my man, I forgot your name. But they have the same exact player, just 3-point specialist. So it is going to be a popular pick. The one thing I like about their matchup against Wisconsin is Wisconsin lives and dies also on this 3-point line. They are 4th in the country in point distributions being 3-pointers. They shoot the amount of shots they take is 42% of their shots are threes, which, like I said, is 4th in the country. Neutral site, different venue, different lights, different backdrop. That could be detrimental if they get cold. And, High Point, hot shooting team. If they get hot, I mean, look for the upset. So I know it's popular, but I don't hate it at all. Taking High Point here. I completely agree with your Vandy reasoning here. Vandy's 12 on KenPom, which makes them better than every single 4 seed. They got the 5. People probably a little upset. They just destroyed Florida, who I thought was the hottest team in the country. I know McNeese is, a Cinderella team that's done it before, but they're without their coach, who's now at NC State. Didn't do much there. So different coach, different play styles. But still, I think Vandy's going to be super popular here. People are high on them. Made it to the SEC championship game. They're, like I said, 12 on KenPom, beat Florida. Definitely could see McNeese here. And then Texas Tech and Akron. I get the side of Toppin being out. And maybe I'm wrong here on Akron. Maybe it's going to be tonight's game, Miami, Ohio, but it seems like a max school always gets to the round of 32. We saw Ohio a couple of times beat Michigan, Yale a couple of times, Harvard pulling off some upsets, Princeton pulling off those are Ivy Leagues. But we saw Ohio. I think there's a couple other max that have won it. They all kind of blend together for me. But I get the read on Toppin being out, but like I said, the difference in tempo here is very interesting to me. Texas Tech, very slow, methodical team. Akron, fast as fast can be. Akron's 32 in tempo in the country. Texas Tech is 245. When you see those teams, like I mentioned in previous videos here, that are the same kind of play style, the better team seems to always win it. When you see those teams that are very different in play style, that's where an upset's going to happen and mismatch is going to happen. So I don't hate Akron. I think I'm gonna have to take both. If Miami, Ohio wins tonight, I'm probably gonna have to take both Akron and Miami, Ohio, to make it to the round of 32, knowing that one of these MAC schools will make it. But I could definitely see Akron going. But my favorite is probably, unfortunately, going to be High Point here. It's right there with the public. But if Wisconsin shoots anything less than what they shot 50% against Michigan, if they're shooting anything less than 35% from 3, High Point is a live dog to win this game. So High Point's probably my favorite. Could definitely see McNeese doing it. Could definitely see Akron doing it. I would stay away from Northern Iowa.
Yeah, just touching on the two that we kind of disagreed on. I really like your reasoning for High Point because, like you said, they have the one deadly shooter, like Golke, where, even when other Oakland players weren't hitting their shots, Golke was, and it's easier for one guy to get used to a rim and a backboard and a backdrop than it is 5 guys. So, I think that does give High Point the advantage, even though they're both 3-point shooting teams. High Point's more on one player where, Wisconsin, if each guy takes 3 shots, whereas High Point's player takes 12, he's going to dial it in way quicker. So I like your angle there. And then, the tempo is something that I don't give much credit to, but that's how Virginia got beat, UMBC. They were a slow team, and if you're not hitting your shots, you have to hit so many more shots when you're a slow tempo team because you just don't take as many. If you're not making your shots, that's how you get beat. So, 2 that I'm probably going to have to look a little deeper into, reconsider maybe a little bit. But I still kind of like Texas Tech just with the I think Akron's just going to be a very trendy dog. But Wyatt, any closing thoughts out of you before we get to the 6 versus 11 seeds?
Yeah, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment if you guys are interested in this. Really helps our channel. But very excited for March. We do have a bracket challenge out on our website and over on our Twitter. If you want to join that, make sure you follow that link and add your bracket to our challenge.
Yeah, and we thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in our next episode where we break down the 6 versus 11 seeds.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Better Win Green, eh? To Better Win Green, eh? To Better Win Green, eh? Listen in and cash out, that's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover all spot from the bottom to the top, hey. Shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome, welcome to our podcast, Better Win Green.